What is going on, everyone? Steve-O Supremo here, and I am just another game collector. And today, on this lovely Saturday, I wanted to talk about the PlayStation 4 with you guys with the help of my daughter's favorite stuffed animal here, Chocolate. We're going to go over the PlayStation 4. Some stuff we're going to talk about are the collectability of it. Like right now, is it a good time to collect? The future of it. Is it going to be a system or games that'll hold value? If maybe you're an investor into games of that nature, would it be something to invest your money into? And overall, just my thoughts on the games that released and the console itself and all that good stuff. So let's dive right into it. First and foremost, my history with the system. I first dived into the PlayStation 4 with the Destiny launch model. There was a white Destiny console that came out, and that was my beginnings into the PS4. And I gotta say, it started off with a bang with Destiny because I loved it, played it to death, did the raids and everything, had a blast with it. But unfortunately, that system, after a few years of heavy use, ended up having to get traded in because it just sounded like a jet engine and I couldn't stand it anymore. So traded that in, kept the box for the console, and got the Spider-Man like Slim edition that had come out, and still have that version to this day. So that console is great. That Slim version was so much quieter than the original model that came out. And yeah, so now you can play your PS4 games on the PS5 though. So I don't even have it hooked up anymore. The only reason to really have the PS4, in my opinion, is if you want to have that PlayStation VR, the original one. You can use it on the PS5, but it's just, you got to get extra adapters and stuff, I believe. And that would really be the only reason to keep it. Unless there's some exclusives out there that I don't know about that only work on the PS4, you guys let me know in the comments down below. Now let's start talking about the collectability and stuff like that with this console. Then we'll kind of touch on these games and some of my favorites and stuff. Right now, I just think it is a great time. It's probably been a great time for the past 2 years to start buying PlayStation 4 stuff because, like anything, guys, these prices are eventually going to start jumping up. They're going to start jumping up in price, especially for games that are these first party ones that are already a little bit more pricier. If you think like a $50 for Gravity Rush 2, if you think that is pricey, something like that will continue to go up. Something like a Bloodborne, that collector's edition, will continue to go up. Something like the Deadpool, though, I don't know. That kind of spiked because of the movie coming out. But I don't know how to judge stuff like that because you can get it on multiple consoles and systems. You can't with Gravity Rush 2 or Bloodborne yet. And that does always kind of play a little effect if it does get a re-release on something. Even games like The Last Guardian, while they're not super expensive now, and you can still get them for a fairly decent price, since it is a first-party game on the system, again, it's something that could just eventually in time could be something that's going to go up. And then you do have these more niche title games that always have a chance to start increasing in price. But for the most part, games on the PS4 are like a lot of multi-platform games, like these Aladdins, like the Red Dead Redemptions and stuff. You can get them on other systems. So stuff like that, I think the price will still always be low, and nothing like that's going to increase. Even stuff like the Resident Evil Origins collection here, you can get on multiple systems. It's mainly focusing on these titles that are first party and are already kind of have a price bump to them already, is what I would be focusing on if you really want to get them for their cheapest price, because they're going to go up just like anything else. All the other stuff, though, I think right now, it's just that you can get so many great games for great prices, like the Origins collection, like an RPG like Tales of Hysteria. You can get that under 20 bucks. I think that's priced under $15. And these days it's kind of different because of inflation and everything, and now games costing 70 bucks being brand new on release. Back in the day, for me, I could go into GameStop and you'd find $5 games all the time, cheap bin games to add to the collection that were good, like Gears of War, titles like that, and Halo 3s. You can find them all day for really cheap. Now I feel like $14.99 to $19.99 is like the new $5 from back then, which is sad to say, but unfortunately that's the times I think we're in. But luckily, just the library of PlayStation 4 games, you can still get a lot of great stuff for under 20 bucks, like the Assassin's Creed games, like a Persona 4 Royale, like I said, the Tales of Zestiria, and I still got a bunch on the shelf over there that are really cheap. Your Red Dead Redemptions are cheaper games. Even Bayonetta Vanquish here, two awesome, great games in a bundle collection you can get for cheaper. And it even just has a great variety for your kids. You can play you some SpongeBob Bikini Battle, some Aladdin, the Lego games. They're all on this console. So it just has such a great variety. It's a huge library of games for you to play and collect for. You got your Soul series, your RPGs, your action games, your racing games, your niche games, your ninja games. No one ever has like ninja games anymore. So, and it's first party, and you get your metal. I mean, you just get a bit of everything. So it's just an incredible console. It's one that I could see myself playing to years and years after its release, just like I do with my PS2 now. Just the Sony systems just have such a great library of games to dive into. And with there being over 3,000 releases on this system, it's like an endless supply of games that you're able to purchase. I do not know if that's how many physical releases there are. I'm pretty sure there isn't. But I would not be surprised if it's over 1,500 to 2,000 physical releases on the PlayStation 4. So if you're someone who's trying to go after full collections and stuff like that, boy oh boy, you're going to be paying a lot of money for the PlayStation 4, because even though it has a lot of cheap games, it does have some collectible games as well, which I have a few pointed out up here. But there's stuff like Godzilla that I would love to add to my collection that's really pricey out there, and it's not the only one. So even if you're like a game hunter, you like collecting the rare, it has the rare games for you. It has a huge library of rare stuff that you can add to your collection. If you're one of those guys who just like, I like having the rare stuff, it has it. If you like the cheap stuff, it has it. It just has it all. Now, when it comes to its collectability in the future, do I think the PlayStation 4 20, 30, 40 years from now is going to have an audience that's going to be wanting to collect all these games again and play them? I actually think there will be. Kind of like right now, for people like me, and we'll dive into this with all the systems and stuff I own. We'll kind of take a dive into the PSP, the Vita, to see how it'll be for the market later on down in the future, how the market is for it now, if you're someone who's trying to get rid of stuff. I think the PS4 in the future is going to have a big demand because there's going to have a massive library, there's a massive install base, and I think like the kids who got it when it first came out, 30, 40 years from now, they're going to see some games they're going to want to play again. And if all this stuff hasn't been ported over on a PC or anything, or maybe you're going to be able to access it all on a future PlayStation where you have access digitally to all of it, they won't care. But I think physical will always have a place in our world, and they're going to want it. So I think it'll be very desirable in the future, just like a PlayStation 2 stuff is for my generation that we grew up with now. So if it's an investment purpose you're looking to get into it for, I think it would be a good investment. You're going to have people who are going to want to buy stuff from it. Even right now, this system, anytime I have extras and bundles I buy that I have to get rid of, PS4 stuff sells really quick. It's not something that sits. It sells better than a PS3 game, sells way better than any type of Xbox game. So PS4 stuff moves. It's almost like my second or third fastest moving stuff other than Switch. Switch stuff moves like a hotcake. And then depending on the game for a Nintendo GameCube system, like that'll move second. But PlayStation 4 is up there. People love collecting for it. People love buying for it. Just because we still have our awesome artwork and we get our awesome spines that keep it like looking different from something like the Switch, which I hope it's not a few. I hope the Switch is the only system that started doing that. PlayStation's still keeping it alive, and other consoles with our nice spines to give them their individuality. But I hope stuff like the Switch does not catch on for the next generation of consoles. So again, I think it's awesome to dive into and collect for. And I think right now, like I said, is a great time. You can get a lot of cheap games. There are a lot of those mid-range price games, but they're great quality games that you can get for your system that I think will only going to continue to rise in value over time. So I don't think it's the danger zone yet. I think you still got another probably 2 or 3 years before it really starts to take off and prices jump on a lot of these games. But like I said, keep your eyes out on some of these first party stuffs like Gravity Rush 2, because stuff like that will only continue to go up. And with GameStop being in the market now of kind of having a little bit of price control on stuff, like we see them like jacking up prices on stuff like Sekiro and stuff like that, it could affect the market. So you never know what they're going to do that could affect the price on things too. So let me know what you guys think about the PlayStation 4. It's something you love to collect for. What do you think of the system and its future as far as the collecting scene with the games and everything? And I'll catch you guys in the next one.